Everyone, Dev with Crime Hive, and in this true crime video, we're talking about a possible serial killer here. You got this man, Adam Strong. He was arrested for the killing, the dismemberment of two women, and the trial is actually currently underway. It takes place in Canada, just outside of Toronto, and very bizarre. And it really starts from two plumbers finding flesh in these pipes that they were trying to clear or unclog. So we're going to talk about the details in this case. Very disturbing, very bizarre, and it leads to so much more. And this may not be the end of this case after it's said and done. So if you do like these kind of true crime stories, just be sure to subscribe, hit the bell notification to all so you can get updated on this and other cases that I'm currently covering as well. So let's talk about this here. You've got this man here again, Adam Strong. It takes place in Oshawa, Canada, and Oshawa is how you say it, I believe. And it's just, so if you're looking here, you've got New York, Toronto. It's just right outside Toronto in Canada, and we're looking at a grisly scene here in this apartment where these plumbers came out. So it really starts in December of 2019, and it's specifically the day, and I'll pull it up here, and this is on December 29th, 2017. And you're looking at one of the victims, and I'll explain how this happened. So on the 29th, 8 p.m., Constable Kevin Park responds to this call, and it came from two plumbers who were trying to unclog the drain. And here's their account of really what transpired and how this began. And I'll pull that up here. Okay, so looking at global news here, so this plumber goes out, he's going to snake these drains after there's complaints from the upstairs tenants. Now Adam Strong lived in the basement of that same complex, and the plumbers go out and they start messing around in the basement, and Strong is there, and he's actually, according to these plumbers, he's kind of just hovering over them and asking them a bunch of questions and being really annoying about it. And so they're kind of suspicious about him, wondering, what he's, why he's not giving up. He's just hovering and being annoying. And so they go upstairs. They're working on it. He actually follows them upstairs and is still just asking him a bunch of questions. And they're working on this for quite some time. This was hours that they were trying to remove substance from the drain. And so what they remove was this pink material coming out in strips with hair on it, is what they said. And it was extremely it was gross. Apparently, Adam Strong had said that when he saw it. He was asking questions like, what was that? And the plumbers were just kind of in awe. They've never seen this before. But one of them said that he was a hunter, and he kind of had an idea of what this might be. So it was flesh-like, according to them. And they start putting this material, pounds of it, in these shopping bags. And then what they end up doing is they continued their account of once they put it in, they put them in the remains in the bags. They text their boss, and the boss is like, hey, pack up your tools, don't be obvious, and leave. And so so they tell Adam Strong, they're like, okay, we're going to come back with bigger equipment. We're going to head out. And apparently Adam is excited about this. Maybe he feels that he can then get rid of this potential evidence before they come back. But right after the plumbers leave with this bag of flesh, okay, they call police, and I'll play the 911 call with what was said, and I'll pull that up right now so you guys can hear this here. Okay, here's the 911 call. You may have to turn up your volume for it as I play it. And here we go.
It was another difficult day in court. We heard from the first officer on scene who arrested Adam Strong in December 2017. And we heard the 911 call made by a plumber who was at the house where he rented a basement apartment. He'd been called there to unclog the drains.
Communications.
Hi there, how are you?
Good, you? Good, thanks. I'm a plumber and I'm on site for a job. We got we're snaking a drain, and we've been pulling back. We probably pulled back about 10 pounds, 15 pounds of it looks like flesh type of stuff, meat.
This was the chilling 911 call played at the trial of 47-year-old Adam Strong. Plumbers hired to unclog the drains by main floor tenants were so concerned they called police.
And we started to stake, and we've been working at it for 3-4 hours now, right?
Oh, okay.
And we can't get it clear, but we keep pulling back chunks of, whatever the hell it is.
It was December 29th, 2017, just 3.5 months after 18-year-old Lori Hache's torso was found floating in the Oshawa Harbor, and the hunt for her...
Okay, and I wanted to stop it right after that because months prior, police had found the torso of Rori, and they had no idea. They didn't really have any leads. They had no information really as to how this happened. This is Rori right here. So her torso was found in the Oshawa Bay, essentially, by some fishermen. And then just fast forward a couple months after that, that was in September. In December is when this bizarre plumbing story comes out, right? And so these plumbers, they call 911, they do the right thing. Police are contacted. Now, where it gets interesting from this point is police show up and they actually end up knocking on the door of Adam Strong, and they ask him right away. I mean, they just straight up ask him, what have you been flushing down the toilet? And he apparently just immediately says, puts his head down. He's like, you got me. Gig's up. I've been caught. You can find the rest of the remains in the freezer is what he says. And I'll actually find the exact quote from that. But he basically admits to police, and this is exactly what he says right here. It's okay, you got me. The gig's up. It's a body. And he says, if you want to recover the rest of her, it's in my freezer. So immediately, police ended up arresting him. He goes into custody, and I'll show one of the interviews that was conducted as well that just kind of show the demeanor of Adam Strong. I mean, he really portrays himself as a psychopath. I mean, it's pretty bizarre. No emotion whatsoever. And I wanted to get this story out as well because it's currently going on in trial. They're coming out with more evidence, more videos as we go through. But I want to mention a couple things here. You're looking at another victim here. Now, what's interesting is police, after they arrest Adam, they do a very extensive search warrant, and they start searching everything in the apartment, and they find some pretty big points of evidence, and we'll talk about that here as well. Okay, so while they're conducting this search warrant, they find some items. They find large hunting knives. They find all sorts of other knives, and what they find on one of the knives later on is DNA that actually comes back to Kandis Fitzpatrick. Now, Kandis Fitzpatrick, I showed you right over here, she was actually missing in 2008. She was last seen in 2008. Her family reports her missing in 2010, and then her DNA shows up on this knife of Adam Strong, and so that DNA linked to her disappearance, and this was 9 years previous to this discovery. So you've got two victims here within about roughly about a 10-year period of time, and they're continuing to investigate other missing women in that area because we're looking at a potential serial killer here. There may be more victims. And again, the trial's underway, more information is being brought to light. But what was interesting also that I'd read in this article, not just this one, I know that they had found all sorts of other items. They conducted their forensic evidence, and what they found was they found strong blood blood that was in the bedroom of Strong, the walls, the ceiling. They even found semen found on her body, right? Remember, part of her body was in the freezer in the main bedroom. So a lot of evidence, a lot of circumstantial evidence. But another thing that I thought was very disturbing in another article here that was found in the same apartment was an autopsy table. So they found an autopsy table, and there's a lot of other witnesses coming forward in this trial, other acquaintances, and they're talking about how Strong was very violent sexually, and was really much big into bondage, and he had devices, and he was abusive to former girlfriends, and so there's a lot of this evidence that's coming around. And the other thing that I want to point out is the interview though with him, just so you guys can kind of get an idea of his character, and I'll play that after this was after he was arrested for the murder. Okay, so here is the video that I want to show you, and then just before I play it, just keep in mind these two victims again were both considered essentially homeless, possibly both addicted to drugs. There was mention of use of meth and cocaine, and they were possibly both involved in the slave trade, or the sex trade, and so he may have calculated these, may have been very calculating with these victims, but there may be more, and there may be similar people like these two victims who were also homeless and they're missing, and so police are really trying to get bits and pieces, but he's not really giving up a lot of information. He has said that he was going to spill the beans at one point, and then he hasn't really given as much information as investigators would like, because there could be more. But let's play this clip here real quick, and you'll get an idea of what he's bargaining for to give information to them.
Adam Strong waits nervously for 36 minutes in the police interview room before the door opens.
Adam, how you doing? Good, you? Had better days.
The now 47-year-old has just been charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder.
I understand I'm in a lot of trouble.
He had been in jail since December 29, 2017, originally charged with causing an indignity to a body after remains of a pregnant 18-year-old Lori Hache were found in his home.
Is there any way I can get a cigarette?
In jail for a year, he takes the opportunity to get treats.
What are you going to hand crumb for? Wendy's triple? Yeah, that's doable. No pickles? Iced tea, no ice? 2, their value, spicy chicken wraps, and a grilled chicken Caesar salad. Okay.
Bargaining for food.
Is that outrageous? No, that's doable.
The affable detective Paul Mitten wants details about Hache's murder, whose torso was found in the Oshawa Harbor.
I don't know how appropriate this is, but I'd like you to pass on to her mother and her father my condolences.
And answers as to why the DNA of missing 19-year-old Kandis Fitzpatrick was also found in his Oshawa basement apartment. But Strong is not giving away anything for free.
I would like to, and I've fielded this to my lawyer, and he's not interested in it, and I don't understand why, of spilling the beans and being as comfortable as I can in jail. Not like $100,000 like Picton, but like an allowance. I don't know. I don't know. Like internet access, like a TV. Like I don't have anybody who's gonna buy me TV.
It doesn't work like that, the seasoned police interrogator tells the accused killer, who admits only to dismembering Hache.
She's definitely deceased. Yes. And you clearly have said I disposed of her. Yes. Tried to. But unfortunately it was foiled by inadequate plumbing. Yep. And that's a freaking shame. Not for me. Yeah, for you. Yeah. You sound really selfish when you say that. Sorry.
The detective will continue to probe into the murders, hoping for the tiniest of details, but Strong has a price.
I don't expect to get out of jail free card. I don't. I just want to be comfortable in jail, man.
11 hours will pass and no deals are made.
I hope one day the light bulb goes off for you. Not that you're fine remorse, but just for you to realize you could help some people feel better. Yeah.
Strong telling the detective he's only sorry.
Pretty crazy, pretty bizarre, man, and there's a lot of antics going on in the courtroom that I've been reading about as well. So you guys can certainly follow up on this story, as there'll be more. Wouldn't be surprised if police end up uncovering another victim. And that's part of the reason I'm doing this, because there may be more out there. If you happen to be in that area, there's certainly other missing women in that area in Canada. And, this is the first crime story I've really done in Canada. So if any of you guys are in that area, definitely comment below. Let me know if you want me to cover more in Canada as well. And again, if you followed me this far, consider subscribing to my channel. This is Dev with Crime Hive. I'll be back with another video soon. You all take care. Thanks.